everyone, I'm Dr. Hannah Nguyen, and welcome back. Can ejaculating every day actually benefit your sexual health? Or on the flip side, could avoiding or reducing ejaculation be harmful to your body? This is a question many men are curious about, but often too embarrassed to ask. In today's video, we're diving into the science, the myths, and the medical truths about ejaculation frequency and its impact on male health, particularly when it comes to prostate health. Over the past 2 decades, researchers have explored the connection between ejaculation frequency and the risk of developing prostate cancer, one of the most common cancers in men. A notable study published in 2016 found that men who ejaculated 21 times per month had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated only 7 times per month. Then in 2017, a larger-scale study followed over 31,000 men and observed similar results. Men with more frequent ejaculations tended to have fewer prostate cancer diagnoses over time. So what does this mean? Is daily ejaculation actually protective? And should we consider this a medical recommendation? Stay with me until the end of this video as we explore what the research really says, what the possible mechanisms are, and how this information fits into a broader understanding of male sexual health and long-term wellness. Let's separate fact from fiction and talk about what's best for your body based on science. It is believed that 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with this tumor during their lifetime. One possible explanation related to this fact is that by ejaculating, by eliminating semen, men also release some toxins and free radicals present and concentrated in their semen. Furthermore, it stimulates better cellular renewal and hormonal turnover. However, this cannot be considered a specific causal factor. Why? All the studies, including the 2 I mentioned here, involved retrospective analysis. The population was not followed prospectively, nor was it specifically evaluated for that type of study. In other words, a database based on the patient's pasts was evaluated. Therefore, certain biases such as recall bias and selection bias can compromise the results of this type of study. Thus, there isn't a very strong recommendation, especially numerically speaking, regarding the exact number of ejaculations that might act as a protective factor against prostate cancer. However, this type of information can guide us as physicians and also patients, suggesting that a healthy, regular, and frequent sex life may indeed improve risk factors and serve in a way as protection against the development of cancer, such as prostate cancer. But what about the opposite? Stopping ejaculation or ejaculating only rarely. Can a hypoactive sex life be detrimental to your health? This is also a very frequent question among many patients. As we know, there is continuous production of semen, which is produced by the prostate, seminal vesicles, bulbourethral glands, and also by the testicles. This semen production occurs regardless of whether the patient has more or less sexual intercourse. Some patients wonder if they don't ejaculate, what happens to this fluid? Folks, if a man does not ejaculate, the body itself takes care of eliminating this volume of semen either through urine, through spontaneous emission during exertion, for example, straining during bowel movements, or through the reabsorption, breakdown, and recycling of this seminal fluid. Another common question relates to cases where the patient experiences a period of arousal but cannot eliminate or expel their semen. And I have a video on the channel explaining this type of situation, also known as blue balls, which is that pain or discomfort in the scrotal region, potentially linked to a prolonged period of high arousal during which the patient cannot release the ejaculate volume. These situations are also not harmful, but they can indeed cause discomfort and a painful condition. However, not ejaculating, ejaculating later, or going days, weeks, or months without intercourse cannot be considered a risk factor for diseases like prostate cancer. Folks, this is a myth. Prostate cancer has no association with whether a patient has a more or less frequent sex life. However, some observations can be taken into account, such as the issue of penile disuse and atrophy, the development of collagen alterations when the patient doesn't experience frequent penile oxygenation, for instance when they lose spontaneous erections or don't have a very active sex life, What can also develop are ejaculation-related disorders like premature ejaculation, delayed ejaculation, or even cases of erectile dysfunction. This is related to lack of use or lack of sexual stimulation. And speaking of maintaining active sexual health naturally and safely, there's a simple solution that can help significantly. A 100% natural method that in just 7 seconds can strengthen your erections, increase your desire, and help you regain the performance you had years ago without medications or invasive treatments. If you want to know how it works, just point your or click the link pinned in the first comment. Take advantage while this tip is still available because it's truly transformative. So folks, what I'd like to emphasize is that maintaining quality in your sexual life is indeed very important. This can be stimulated and supported with medical help. Talk to your urologist if you have this problem. It can certainly improve and significantly improve your quality of life. If you found the content of this video interesting, or if you think it might help someone you know, please share this information. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate our notifications, and stay updated with our weekly content. Best regards, and see you next time.